Hello ladies and gentlemen, this video will be for you for year 2025, analysis of your ascendant from sidereal and also from tropical modern astrology perspective. So for example, if you would have ascendant sidereal ascendant Aries, your tropical ascendant will be Taurus. If you don't know at what time you were born, then you apply the moon sign. So it would be moon in Aries, sidereal astrology would correspond to moon in Taurus, tropical modern astrology. So this will be how I will be looking at the 12 ascendants. Also, why we look at the ascendants? Because this, according to the ancients, very ancient tradition, the ascendant is the house of life. This is more important even than the lunar sign or than the solar sign. So we derive the horoscope first from your rising sign, from your ascendant. So this is how I will be looking at your ascendant and your future year 2025. And of course, what I will do is I will be looking at the most important transits. They are so very important for year 2025. And of course, we'll be looking at the eclipses. They are also very, very important because in year 2025, the lunar nodes change positions and also with themselves, they take the eclipses. Also, we're looking at a major conjunction of trans-Saturn planets and so on. So this will be a general analysis of your future for 2025. If you want to have very specific, very detailed reading with me, which will include primary directions, which will include the method of Time Lords techniques, which will include progressed horoscopes and solar revolution, then you may like to book a personal reading with me. And for year 2025, you can find a reading with a discount, which is valid for the month of December and also January. So if you want to have discounted reading, detailed analysis of your future and of your natal horoscope, you may book such reading with me. So let's hear now your ascendant, description of your ascendant and the future of 2025 for you. Hello ladies and gentlemen with sidereal ascendant Capricorn. In this video I will tell you about the most important celestial planetary placements of the year 2025, and also we'll be looking at the eclipses because the lunar nodes are changing their locations retrogradely in the year 2025. So there will be a change also in the positions of the eclipses for the year. This will be general reading to give you indication of the most important tendencies of the year. If you want to have more detailed analysis, which will involve other astrological techniques like primary directions, Time Lord techniques and more, solar revolutions and more, then you may connect with me for personal reading. Now, where to start from? In year 2025, actually, there is important change which is important for you because Saturn, who is ruling Capricorn is your ascendant. Just to mention, this reading is for people who have sidereal ascendant Capricorn or moon in Capricorn, or for the modern tropical astrology, this is Aquarius. So if you prefer to follow the modern tropical astrology, then for you this is Aquarius. In case that you do not know at what time you're born, then you can apply the moon sign. So Capricorn, what is happening with Saturn, your ascendant ruler? On 6th of April, Saturn is making major shift, major move, which will be influencing everyone on the planet, which is 6th of April, Saturn is entering sidereal Pisces, to stay there 3 years. Saturn will enter Pisces when he will be invisible, but on 30th of April he becomes visible, and then we will feel better his presence, because while he is not visible, he works more on subtle levels, and we see later on what actually he meant, what is he supposed to denote to the collective and also to our horoscopes. So this is, as of 30 April, you will see very interesting events resulting from the placement of Saturn in Pisces. He will influence your energy, your nature, because he is ruling your ascendant. So you're very connected with the Saturn in energy. How exactly he will work out for you depends on the placement of your natal Saturn, but still the Saturn in energy means a lot in your horoscopes. Now, when he will enter Pisces, he will meet their Venus, Rahu, the lunar node, Mercury, Neptune, and the Sun. And this is a big stellium in your third house. Saturn in Pisces will have to fulfill the karma for you for your third house. In what ways? Saturn is not very joyful in Pisces. This is the watery energy, the feminine energy of Pisces, very different than the energy of Saturn. So he will work more on subtle levels, on your emotions most probably. Also, he will have to do with, of course, the 12th house matters, because Pisces is ruling the 12th house in the horoscope. It will be related to health, some karma that we have to pay as a result of our previous actions. So he's not very easy in Pisces, but again, because he's your ascendant ruler, I don't expect from him to really to be very malefic, because you are accustomed with the Saturn in energy of discipline, morals, time orientation, structure, and so. So Saturn will be staying 3 years in Pisces, quite important. In the beginning, in the very beginning of his passage into Pisces, he will be forming a square with Uranus. No, just before entering, actually. In the beginning of the year, up until, when is this, 6th of April, he will be forming a square with Uranus, because at that time Uranus will be in your 5th house, because Uranus entered your 5th house on 18th of June of 2024 to stay there 7 years. So there will be a square. This is a little bit of tension, and in which area of your life? This is involving the 2nd and the 5th house. This is gains, finances, creative knowledge, communication with children. So this is a little bit of malefic influence. Later, when Saturn will enter Pisces, the aspect between Saturn and Uranus will be sextile, and this is better. So, another important detail about Saturn, and later on we'll follow some timeline to look at the other planets too. On 12th of July, Saturn and Neptune form exact conjunction in Pisces. This exact conjunction happens while they are stationary, and also they receive sextile from Pluto. And this is very important, because historically I checked when we had such conjunctions between Neptune and Saturn. We always had important changes, especially changes related to the social systems on Earth. And such changes are always very revolutionary. And this happens to be your 3rd house. Therefore, as of July or mid-July, there could be important changes related to third house matters, also matters which involves the placement of your Saturn, which is first and second houses. These are finances, these are your own choices, this is education, knowledge. These are houses of brothers, this is house of brothers and sisters, this is new studies, total shift in your interests of education, shift in your relationships with brothers and sisters on a very important levels, communication, travel, choosing different philosophy or belief system. So media work, starting something related to media, and so very, very important. Now let's follow some timeline, so we go a little bit back. The lunar year, the beginning of the lunar year for us, according to the ancient astrology, is starting when after the sun enters the point of the equinox. For the northern hemisphere, this is the vernal equinox. For the southern hemisphere, this is the autumn equinox. So for the northern, this is the spring equinox. For the south, this is the autumn equinox. So after the sun enters this point, which is Pisces for our era, then the moon appears for the first time, and then we have the beginning of the new lunar year. And this is Aries, where the moon appears for the first time. This is Aries. This is your fourth house. Mars is automatically very important, and very important is your fourth house. Property, real estate, home, moving, rearrangement of your home, work at home, parents, and your relationship with them. This is the emphasis of the year, especially as of 30th of March, when we have the appearance of the first lunar crescent. So let's see what is Mars doing. In the beginning of the year, in January, he is on your 7th house. Very long he will be there, back and forth, not only in the 7th house. So from 7th of January until 16th of January, the retrograde Mars will be in a little bit of difficult phase called the chronicle rise, a little bit disharmonious, fallen. This way he can afflict a little bit your personal relationships in a romantic sense, but also business. Mars can be a little bit afflicting. You may need to be specifically diplomatic, intuitive, forgiving, loving in personal sense, and also very diplomatic and intuitive when it comes to business relationships. Because Mars, especially from 7th to 16th of January, is a little bit disharmonious. Then on 17th of January, he is moving backwards into Gemini, because he's retrograde. This is your 6th house. There he can bring to lesser degree, but still disharmony in your routine environment. Health a little bit. You may need to be careful with your health up until 7th of April. Mars will be in your 6th house. He can create also some conflicts in your job, in your routine. You may need to be forgiving and careful. On 24th of February, Mars is becoming direct, conjoining Sirius, the great, powerful, royal, I would call, star. This is important because this can bring something new, new connection, new solution, something in your job environment. So this is 24th of February. Then he is becoming direct, and when he will be direct, he is moving towards your 7th house, which is Cancer. On 7th of April, he is entering Cancer. The direct Mars is entering Cancer again. Now he is direct, not anymore so difficult retrograde, but still Mars is detriment in Cancer, so he is afflicting for romantic life relationships. He can cause some conflicts, disputes, disharmony. and he will be there from 7th of April to 8th of June. This is long transit of Mars in Cancer, so you may need really to be intuitive and quite, to try to have peaceful relationships, business wise, romantic wise, and all this. On 8th of June, Mars is entering your 8th house. There, watch a little bit not to make, when you make financial decisions, also not to be very impulsive. Mars is in Leo, is quite fiery. He actually can bring good results. So then on when is this? On 9th of August, he is leaving, Leo, and then he's coming on your 9th house to trine your Ascendant. This is good drive to study, to study, to travel. But on 30th of July, when he is entering Virgo, I said, especially on 9th of August, Mars is making opposition to Neptune and Saturn. This is a little bit a tension point, so when you travel, you have to be very careful. And this is briefly about Mars, and especially his key position, that you need to be a little bit more careful for the year 2025. Then Jupiter. I told you about Saturn. Since he's your ascendant ruler, he's so important. On 19th of May, Jupiter is leaving your 5th house. He is there almost 1 year already. He's not so very powerful in Taurus, but still he's blessing your children, creative activities, even gains. Yes, he receives square from Saturn, but still I believe that he was also capable, and he still is in Taurus, to bless your muse and help you in some creative activities or gains, but not without the discipline and the hard work which Saturn is imposing, because they are in a square relationship, which is not very easy aspect in astrology. So 19th of May, Jupiter is leaving and is entering actually Gemini. And in the summer, Saturn and Jupiter again are going to make a square. This can involve a little bit of, again, need of hard work, discipline, especially in your routine work environment, especially when it comes to finances and so on. On 6th of June, Jupiter becomes invisible, and he will be invisible. Invisible means you really don't see him on the sky. He's coming in too close proximity to the sun, and it's hiding in the rays of the sun. So until 14th of July, we will not be able to see Jupiter, and he will not be so much blessing your 6th house, where he is not very strong because he's fallen, but still he will bless your health, routine, job. He will help you resolve some conflicts and so. But on 14th of July, he can bless these matters in your life again. So this is something very, very good. So he will be 1 year in your 6th house, and later again in the spring of 2026, he will enter your 7th house exalted, and this is it will be a very good time for you. So this is briefly about them. Now, mentioning this, also, I told you 7 years you will have Uranus on your 5th house. 18th of June, Uranus entered your 5th house, and he will be bringing some changes related to gains, communication with children, pleasure, talented work. So he can bring some interesting innovations in your creative activities, talented work, and so for the next 7 years. Also, since we're still in June, one good event, powerful, June 9, Mercury becomes visible as an evening star for the first time in your 6th house. This is could be something, some news, interesting, good in relation to your career or health matters. Venus on she will be in your third house exalted at the moment when we have the beginning of the lunar year, and this is the 30th of March, 30th, 31st of March. But on 18th of April, she will be particularly powerful, and she will make conjunction with invisible Saturn, Neptune, and Mercury, and this is again great importance on your third house, which especially after July, like I mentioned to you, can have very important impact on your travel, on your communication plans, on your trade, work, business, philosophical studies, education, and so on. On 1st of June, Venus is entering Aries, your fourth house. She's there fallen, but she can bring blessing to your home, but she's not very much supporting career, but she's also never afflicting. This is Venus. On 30th of June, she's entering Taurus, very, very powerful. She will meet Uranus there. She will form an exact conjunction with Uranus, and this can be something very innovative, positive for your creative activities. Can bring amazing news to create something new, to study something new, and so on. On 3rd of November, she's entering Libra. Until 27th of November, she will be very positive for your career, for your work environment. So these are the aspects which I found to be most important for your horoscope. And then we should not be missing the eclipses. The eclipses of 2025 are 4, and they will be happening on 2 important axes. This is the axis of Virgo, Pisces, and Leo, Aquarius. On 30th of April, the lunar nodes which are moving backwards are entering Leo, Aquarius. Ketu, the tail of the dragon, is entering Leo, and Rahu, the head of the dragon, is entering Aquarius. This way also the eclipses are moving into this axis, to emphasize on this axis in a way to bring changes there, because the eclipses are always portals for change. Maybe not immediately, but after some time, yes. That's why I advise, when we have the eclipse portal, which is always portal of 2 eclipses, you have lunar and solar, which usually, not 100%, but usually happen one after another with a distance of almost 2 weeks. So if you have, let's say, now we will have 2 eclipses in March. We have the lunar eclipse happening on the 15th of March, and then we have the solar eclipse happening on the 29th of March. Emphasizing on your axis of education, travel, connections, and on money. So these are the areas which will undergo some changes. Therefore, like 2 weeks before eclipses corridor and 2 weeks after, make sure that you don't do so much, because you will see where the energies of the eclipses will bring you, what the universe will show you after the eclipses are over. So the whole month of March is a little bit a month of attention. When you travel, be careful. Especially don't travel on the days of the eclipses, 15th March, 29th March, because I have bad experience with this, and I know from so many people which have had difficult experiences during eclipses, and with you in particular. You have eclipse in March taking place on the axis of 39 houses, so be a little bit careful. Then the second eclipse portal is in September, 7th September the lunar, and 21st September solar. Again, especially the second one is involving your axis of education, study, travel, communication, commerce. So wait a little bit. If you have to travel, try not to do it on the 21st of September, 22nd, 20th. Especially these are days of attention. So the whole month of September is also a month of attention, when you have to make important decisions, financial, new ideas. Wait a little bit, because after the eclipses are over, You will see how you have received signs from the universe, information, intuitive decisions, and you will know what to do. So I think these were the most important planetary moments for the year 2025. I wish you all the best, and see you soon. Bye bye.